Taylor Hartman made some observations that are taken basically from Hippocrates. This is not a perfect model, but it's the simplest personality model I've ever seen. And so this is to be not an answer-all, but it will certainly open your eyes. It opened my eyes when I saw this. Now, I'd studied psychology, and as I came in contact with this, I'll tell you what happened. My wife had a friend. They wanted to go hear this guy talk. And they said that this fellow was really interesting and really funny, and Jones, come along. She persuaded me, said, all right, I'll go. So I went down there, and this guy started talking, and all he did for about 45 minutes was insult me. Now, I thought that my wife had set me up, and that they saw me coming, because there I was in the front row. And this guy just kept insulting me, and I got upset with him, and he started describing me. I fought this guy, because I didn't like what he had to say. He said that you really can't tell about people's personality by behavior alone. Because one guy can go out and buy a new Porsche because he's got a heck of a personality problem, a very big inferiority complex, and he needs a big expensive car to make himself feel good. And somebody else has a girlfriend that loves guys who have Porsches, so he bought it for her. So it's an ego trip. Or I might be a Porsche dealer and I can only drive a Porsche, because I got to have one. Why buy a Ford, okay? And you can't always tell by behavior what kind of personality they have. So Taylor talked about, well, we think that we can categorize people according to their motive. And so he talked about motive, and motive is the key to personality. And so we have the red personality, and we have the blue personality, and we have the white and the yellow personality, and they're all motivationally oriented in a different way. They all have different motivations. Now, most people are a blend of these different colors, which is great. That's what you want. And there's weaknesses and strengths to each color. Now, somebody says, well, I'm really well balanced. That's good. The problem is they had all the weaknesses of the white and all the weaknesses of the blue and all the weaknesses of the... And that's all they had, see? And they were up here bragging. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the reds, he says. The reds are into power. And as he started to describe it, he started to describe my life. Like he had been listening at the window. And he knew how I thought and how I felt and exactly where I was coming from. And I disagreed with him. Now, there's only one color that argues with the teacher. And as soon as I raised my hand, guess what he knew? He knew he had a red. And I raised my hand and I said, I'm not into power. Can you imagine this? Stand up in front of a... I'm not into power. What are you talking about? Challenging the Dr. Hartman. Taylor Hartman, okay? And I thought, well, how dare you say this to me? My wife's over here. She's over there. She's really enjoying this. And I'm resenting it more and more. Because he's nailing me. Man, he's really shaking my cage. And I said, I am not into power. He says, oh. Everybody goes, ha, ha, ha. And I'm kind of on the spot. I said, no, I just want to get things done. I'm very practical. And if it needs to get done, we get it done. My wife sits around if the car breaks down and slobbers and blows her nose and cries, blah, 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 and she never gets the car fixed. I said, get in there and get the car fixed, see? He says, well, the reds are shakers and movers. The reds build things. The reds are loyal to causes, and they're workers. And we have to have a lot of reds in the world to get things done. And he says, reds think they know everything. I said, we do. We know everything. We've got it all figured out. I have thought it logically out. The reds are very, very logical. There's two rules for a red. Number one is we're always right. And number two is, if we're ever wrong, refer to rule one. Okay. And that's how we operate. We're very, very logical. Are we into emotions? No, emotions are for ball babies, for twits, for weenies. No, we are into getting the job done, thinking through. Are we good in a crisis? Absolutely. Keep your head, get it all done. Everybody's bleeding, you fix it and you take care of it, right? That's how we work. We're very, very logical. Now, a red needs to look good. And they need to be right. They need to be respected. They need to get approval. That's what a red needs. Do they work hard for this approval? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They work hard. Now, I want to tell you, this guy says the reds and the blue marriages, the blues are heavyweights too. He says it's the red-blue marriages that keep the therapists wealthy. But see, what we do is we usually marry our opposites and then live to regret it. Because we seem to sense that we need a complementary piece, something where we're weak. And so we reds, what do? We'll marry these blues. And these blues want somebody that's assertive and strong. And guess when you do marriage counseling, what you always find out? You say to them when they come in, why did you marry your husband? Or what was the reason? What was great about your wife that you really loved and that attracted you to her? And the wife will say, my husband was so strong and so firm with things and powerful man, and I respected that. And then I could say, I'll tell you what's wrong with your marriage. He's bossy, and he is always right, and he wants his way. And she says, yeah. Why? Right? Because, see, what we do when we get married is we marry somebody that we really like their character, and then we spend the rest of our life trying to change them. And that's the truth. We're trying to make them into our color. Now, just a minute. Do you mean to tell me I could have a blue son or a yellow son and unconsciously try to make him into a red? And say that you're not okay if you're not a red and you don't think like me and feel like me and want what I want and value what I want, and you're not going to be a jock? And you're not going to go out and kill people on the football field? I don't want no weenie blue. I want a tough guy. I want a man for a son. Could we all of a sudden give messages, not spoken, but certainly inferred, implied, communicating that we do not, what? Value this child if he isn't a red child. Do you think that's happened? I got some stories to tell you, some sad cases like that. So the reds are motivated where? With power, getting the job done. And they're into production. They produce more widgets faster and better than anybody else. Now, these guys, these blues and the reds, they ascend the corporate ladder, right? That's where you find them. The blues' motivation is intimacy. Okay, that's intimacy. They want intimacy. They want to be understood. The blue mother sees the little red son come home. How are you doing, son? How was your day at school? I want to be involved in his life. I need to know this. And he says, shut up, Ma. I survived the day. I'm all right. What's for dinner? Why won't you talk to me? Don't you love me? Yeah, Ma, I love you. Why? Get out of my face. Okay, this little kid. What's for dinner? I punched 3 guys out today, and I put this, and I did that, and I did this. She says, oh, really? Does she want to be connected? She wants to be intimate. She wants to be connected with this child. She wants someone to talk to, someone to listen. Is she going to be disappointed if that little boy's a red? Do you think reds give a lot of intimacy? You got this blue wife. What does she need? Let's look at this poor wife. She is moral. She wants to be understood. She wants to be appreciated. She wants to be accepted. Very, very moral. She wants to talk. The white is into peace. They're non-confrontive. The yellows are into fun. Heaven forbid a blue and red mom and dad and a yellow son. They'll crucify this kid. Okay? Yellows are not, they are not into studies. They're into fun. And I want to tell you, we got red dads and blue moms jumping out of windows when they've got yellow kids. You'll drive them absolutely crazy. These people are not reverent. They're not reverent. They're into fun. That's what they're into. And the whites, they'll drive you crazy. They get into a lot of passive resistance. I have a white son, an eldest son. And he's very, very talented. Very talented. And musically. And lazy as a post. Won't work. Oh, terrible. If I had that much talent, I'd have $1 million. $10 million. When he was going to high school, they had this music composition thing. And so they had this contest where they were doing orchestration composition for high school. I thought, well, yeah. He said, yeah, I think I'll enter that. What he did was give them a recording and he sent it in. He won the whole school. Then he won the whole district. Then he won all of Southern California. Then he won all of the state of California. In the Nationals, he got runner-up for like second best. Do you think I could ever get him to do anything else? He would not do anything. He wouldn't write down his music. I was begging him, write it down. I was recording. I said, write it down. We'll all be wealthy. You know, write it down. Yeah? Here I am. I'm a red man. You put that money in the bank. Isn't that dad? Yeah. And we got into a power struggle. Now, a white is very logical. They will not be controlled. The red is trying to control everybody, trying to power things. They'll tell you exactly what to do. In fact, I know if you people would just listen to me, you wouldn't have any more problems. Is that true? Do the reds know? Yes, we know, and nobody believes it. But we reds know we know it. Now the white, they don't care what you know. They are not going to be controlled. I would beg this boy that he would not do it. In fact, I said, how could you do that? I said, play for me this orchestration. He says, okay. And this is the first violin on the piano. This is the second violin. This is the piccolo. And then these come in, and we have a movement. What's a movement? I thought that was when you went to the bathroom. He says, okay. So he says, there's this and there's that. And then they come in here, and I said, well, play the tune. He says, Dad, it doesn't have a tune. It's an orchestration, Dad. And I said, well, play it. He says, Dad, I just played it to you. I played you the first violin, the second violin, the third violin. I played you the brass. I played the percussion. I did everything for you. Can't you hear it in your head? I says, huh? Hear it in my head? What are you talking about? Dad, all of them. Can't you hear the harmony? Huh? You know, harmony? Now, is he talented? Do you think I can get him to work? Do you think I can get him to do his bedroom? No. He's into logic, and nobody's going to control him. He's not very emotionally based. Very difficult. And I was trying to beat him up, make him a red. I was trying to get him to work. He would not do it. Now, whenever a white and a red get into a control contest, a power struggle, guess who always wins? The white. And I'd say, now, son, we've got it figured out, right? He'd say, yeah, Dad. Yeah, Dad. Okay, can I count on that? Yeah, Dad. And I'd go and tell Lily, don't worry about it, honey. I had a good talk with him, and everything's going to be okay. We'd come back, and the whole thing was right like it was before. And I'd say, didn't I tell you? He says, yeah. Well, would you do it? Okay, all right. Would he do it? Now, this is what you call passive resistance. Will he confront me and battle me? No. He shuts down, goes inside, goes turtle, and he will not. No, passive resistance is like a big dog that has his feet up on your shoulders, and he's just licking your face while he wheedles on your shoe. Okay? Now that's what we call passive resistance. He always won. And I was so frustrated, I was going crazy. Because I wanted this boy to study. And do you think he ever wrote anything down? No. He wouldn't write anything down. I don't know why. I don't know why he wrote down. I can't understand him. But can I accept him as a white? Could I just accept him as a white? Could I? It's awful hard. Now, before I knew this, what was I doing? I was thinking, that kid got a piece missing. We got a defective kid here. We're going to have to send him back and get him retooled. Because something is wrong. What is the matter with him? Because I sit down, and I explained it, and his eyes were open, and I said, are you in there? Are you in there? Are you in there? He said, yeah, Dad. I said, do we understand each other? We got a deal. Yeah, yeah. Did it ever do any good? These people will drive you insane.